Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away.
This was the first time I'd ever heard Kyle speak. Hi, my name's Charlie Buckley. I'm a reporter for the Investigative Journalism Bureau, a nonprofit newsroom based at the University of Toronto. When the IJB launched in 2020, we debuted with Generation Distress, a sweeping international investigation into the youth mental health crisis facing North America. We gathered counseling data from 40 Canadian colleges and universities, interviewed more than 150 young people struggling with their mental health, and commissioned a survey of thousands more to learn about the experiences and challenges they faced in seeking help. Of all the stories we published since launching that series, there's one that I still can't get out of my head. It's the story of Kyle Gardiner, a 23-year-old from Aurora, Ontario, who died by suicide in January of 2020. By all accounts, Kyle was a successful, ambitious, and profoundly beloved young man, surrounded by a supportive family and friends. He was a black belt in karate, he loved to canoe, and as his mother remembers, he dressed like $1 million. In his final years of life, Kyle studied abroad in the Netherlands. He taught English in China, and he aced the LSAT. He had dreams of attending law school at McGill University. But in the end, this incredibly bright future that he had wasn't enough to overcome the shadow of his mental illness.
And he is really, truly one of the most kind and funny and passionate people I've ever known. And I wish we could have known each other much, much longer. And I'll always remember him.
You've touched so many people's lives and you really made a difference, and everyone really misses you. And I do too. So hope you're thinking of me. I'm thinking of you.
I remember the night before we published this story. It was late November of 2020, and I was walking home through empty streets when I got a message from our editor at the Toronto Star. He was sharing a link to the video that would accompany the digital edition of our story. I had known ahead of time that that video would include an interview with Kyle's parents, and I knew it was going to be difficult to watch. But what I didn't know until that moment, sitting outside a grocery store on Front Street in the downtown core, was the video had another part. It was a webcam recording of Kyle, maybe part of a job or a university application. He's looking right into the camera, and he's reading a short story aloud, showing off his public speaking skills. I don't know if it was a story that was assigned to him or if it was one he chose for himself, but it couldn't have been a more heartbreaking parallel to his own.
You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go.
It was Oh, the Places You'll Go. It's a book by Dr. Seuss about being ready to grow up, and about the adventures you'll go on, and the decisions you'll make, and the friends you'll find as that journey takes you around the world.
I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win, because you'll play against you. All alone, whether you like it or not, alone will be something you'll be quite a lot.
It's also a story about how things don't always go the way you'll expect. And in your darkest moments, you can't help but feel completely alone. Through it all, I had let myself start to believe that I was understanding people like Kyle, about why so many people in my generation were struggling so hard to keep it together. I'd let myself believe that that mystery was starting to come into focus. And it might sound like a tiny detail, but after all that time, learning for the first time what it sounded like to hear him speak, to hear him express himself, it was enough to shatter my perceptions. As a journalist, and as a person, it's a lesson that I try to look back on as often as I can. If you'd like to read this story or learn more about the IJB's journalism, you can find us at ijb.utoronto.ca. For the Investigative Journalism Bureau, I'm Charlie Buckley. Thank you for watching.